There's a storm brewing over America, and that storm is swirling around the financial wellness of Americans. Let's look at the figures I've gathered. Some of them are quite stark. Let's start with savings. This graphic shows Americans living paycheck to paycheck. In other words, these are the percentages of households that have no savings, and certainly not the recommended 3 to 6 months reserve. As you can see, this is broken out by income band. On the left, we see those making under 50,000, with a whopping 71% of these households living paycheck to paycheck. And even our high income earners, those making over 100,000, a surprising 39% of those households are living paycheck to paycheck. Americans are going into debt. We see that the average credit card debt across all account holders is over 10,000, with an average APR of nearly 23%. Later, we'll see how this plays out across age groups. And finally, the starkest financial snapshot, retirement savings. On the right, we see that 50% of households are saving for retirement, but this means 50% are not. And if we dig deeper into the data, we see that only 21% have 100,000 or higher, with even a smaller percentage, 7%, that have 500,000 or more. To put this into perspective, if we look at the recommended distribution for a $500,000 portfolio, we would be looking at an annual income of only 20,000 per year. Next, I would like to make this a bit more real. By applying collected data and demographics, we can begin to paint a picture to describe some faces to the numbers. These next few slides represent composites, but the associated figures are very real based on national averages. Of course, these would vary from person to person and don't take into account individual situations. That said, I do feel these figures are realistic and reflect the circumstances that many Americans find themselves in. Let's look at the delivery guy, who makes between 34 and 50,000 per year. What is noteworthy is that already in this age group, we are seeing people that are carrying a large credit card debt. In this case, close to $4,000. And even the affluent tech worker, earning nearly six figures, is carrying a whopping $6,000 in credit card debt. We see that savings and retirement has increased, but not significantly. And finally, the manager. This person is approaching retirement with 180,000, which may seem like a significant amount of money until you play it out. Let's imagine that by the time she does retire, that she's accumulated $250,000, a $250,000. If we apply the 4% withdrawal rate rule, that would translate into an income of $10,000 per year from that retirement account. This obviously would require her to depend on other forms of income, like Social Security, and or she may be like the 57% of Americans that say they expect to work during their retirement. As sobering as those figures are, there is a silver lining to all this, an opportunity to make a real difference in the lives of employers and employees. The good news is that employers are taking notice and employees are asking for help. 82% of employees say that employers should play a role in supporting their financial wellness. And 84% of employers now say offering financial wellness tools can help increase employee retention. But despite these high polling numbers, few employers are actually offering this type of assistance. And this is where we are offered an unprecedented opportunity. 79% of employers are not providing non-retirement financial benefits. Many employers offer some form of retirement planning, but few address the nut and bolt issues like debt management or budgeting. The sort of skills that allow employees to save for a home and have more money left over to put towards their retirement. This leaves a huge unmet need in the market. So you might be thinking that putting together this type of program would be complicated. But the reality is implementing a financial wellness program is pretty straightforward. Let's take the example of Edwina Irwin. In 2016, Edwina began her journey at Verizon as a customer service agent, barely making ends meet and struggling to tackle her mounting debts. But Edwina's story took a remarkable turn when one of her managers introduced her to Verizon's Employee Assistance Program. This workplace benefit provides free support to employees facing financial challenges and other issues. Through the EAP program, Edwina gained access to financial educational resources as well as counseling. Within a relatively short period of time, Edwina raised her credit score, enabling her to achieve her dreams of home ownership and acquiring a new car. And now she helps her parents with their finances. And Edwina isn't alone in her success. Studies show that employees that take financial literacy courses have significantly higher levels of 401k participation, as well as higher overall balances in other accounts. And the good news is that this isn't rocket science. The study programs involve a combination of fairly simple educational programs and coaching. To summarize, as we can see, there's a clear need, and very few of us can truly call ourselves financially literate. And that we see there's a recognition by employers that financial literacy will increase retention, and that employees are expecting financial wellness programs from their employers, and that there is a large market. 79% of employers are currently not offering non-retirement financial benefits. And this isn't rocket science. With great content and coaching, we can do this.